Witches, bitches, and divas. Witches, bitches,
and divas.
That's the theme of the episode.
I feel like this is also one of those astrology fucking things where it's like they call themselves a witch.
We're
just
going
because they have a
deep.
Some bath salts.
Rolling in the
What?
deep.
Or some, I don't know.
Some bath salts.
Yeah.
Witches didn't take baths.
Are you sure about
What?
that?
What are you talking about? Wait. Yeah, I heard.
I'm just fucking around with it.
I've heard something about bath salts, but what do you mean witches?
No, I just
Yeah,
feel
he
like,
was like witches do bath salts.
I feel like witches, like a lot of young women who are into astrology that also like.
Well, nowadays they're not witches; they're Wiccans, or I guess it's almost like a religion is Wiccan.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
I guess you
actually a
would be a
thing?
witch within that. So yeah, yeah. You and your coven are together.
you and your coven.
I know my shit. I watched American Horror Story season 3.
Fair enough.
Half
Fair
of it,
enough.
Half of it, but
Yeah. Dude, what's it called? Yeah, David Blaine, though. You see what he did for like a week straight? Oh, no, sorry. It was 45 days. He was in water for 45 days.
which one?
This was a while back.
Yeah,
that's
this
an
was a
old
while
one.
back, but still. I just found out about this.
He was in water for 45 days.
Yep.
Which one was that?
What was it? Was he in water, in a water tank for 45
No,
days?
he was encapsulated in ice and was like buried alive.
That was 45 days. But he did 7 days of in a water tank.
He's done a whole bunch of gnarly shit.
Weird stuff,
He
dude.
did 7 days in a water tank?
Yeah.
I know he did a couple days on top of that pillar that was like, what was it, like 100 feet tall or some shit?
Mm-hmm.
Like he stood on this pillar where literally there was enough room for him to essentially just stand
Yeah.
for a couple days.
Yeah.
And he said by, I think it was like day 4 or 5, he started hallucinating. Could you imagine? Like the worst place. 100 feet off the ground, just like,
I mean-
oh no, there's a step and just,
Yeah.
The
Gone.
man casually swallows frogs and regurgitates them at will. So
the man also at a time held the world record for longest unassisted breath hold.
don't play footsie with me. What the fuck?
What was that?
Oh,
Zayd's very offended.
Yeah, he's
Zayd's triggered, as some
yeah,
would
dude.
say.
God
I don't
damn.
play footsies with dudes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
was
my
that
bad,
was
bro.
Zayd's footsie a microaggression?
kind
Yeah,
of?
yeah, it kind of was actually.
Are you aggressed on a microscopic level? Are you aggro?
Pretty fucking
You
aggro
grow, bro?
right now.
You aggro, bro?
Dude,
Pretty
you
grow right now.
Well, welcome back to the 2 a.m. podcast. Zayd's fucking aggro.
What's
apparently.
Yeah.
Tell us
Sleep
something
deprived.
we don't know.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, 4 hours, making bad decisions, living a life of debauchery
Yeah.
and scandals. This man has a Twitter scandal every 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
And if you don't follow him, please
Roll
follow
with the
him
punches.
at Zader with triple R.
Yeah, his controversial tweets about eating meat and sleeping properly are really riling people up.
Yeah, dude.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Man.
Well, it's the way that you approach eating meat is what I think pisses people off, or at least back like a couple months ago. Like, there was
I didn't even explain it that.
No, there was some shit that you said where it was like clearly oriented at vegans. Like, just,
Oh, yeah.
just as like a fuck you.
I had
kind
my
of thing.
phase where I was attacking vegans.
And then what's hilarious is before that, you were borderline vegetarian.
I wasn't borderline vegetarian.
In my mind, you
Yeah,
were.
dude.
I was
when
just eating a lot of vegetables and fruit.
When I first met you, that was funny. I met you while I was in the backseat of a car, dude.
I
don't know if you remember that.
When?
I was with someone in his car, and then we went to go eat or grab smoothies or something, and then they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna pick up my homie Zayd."
That was when we met.
Yeah, you sat in the front seat, and I was just like, "All right, cool," you know.
Guess you didn't make that good of an impression.
No, he started talking. He started talking about like celery sticks and shit. And I'm like, "Yeah,
Dude,
no.
never in my day have I spoken about celery sticks.
Bullshit.
You have, dude.
Celery is bullshit.
Yeah, you've talking about
No.
broccoli too, bruh.
Broccoli for sure.
Yeah, broccoli's
Yeah.
different.
but not celery.
I don't know, but either way, it was greens to me, and I was just like, no, I'm good.
No. No, Zayd used to be a big veggie guy back in the day.
Big veggie guy. Why does
Big
that crack
veg
me up
guy.
whenever you say that?
Zayd
Big
was
veggie guy.
He was a big veg guy.
Yeah,
And
veg, dude.
he's changed it up. For a while, you were just pure carnivore, if I remember correctly, right?
It wasn't for a while. It was like 2 weeks.
That's a little while.
And I
Yeah.
couldn't go to the restroom, so a little
So
bit
I was
cause
about
of
to say, Zayd
cause for
literally
concern.
could not shit because of the carnivore diet.
Although there's a lot of anecdotal evidence that a lot of people have diarrhea the first couple weeks, which is very interesting.
Weird. Well, I thought it would be the opposite. To to be honest.
I was gonna say, is it the opposite of veganism, where people are like, I feel amazing now that I'm actually getting organic nutrients?
Yeah, now
and
that you're not
normal-
eating complete
the proper
shit.
amount of vitamins into my system for the first time in like
what a
15
shocker
years.
that is.
I feel amazing.
Unbelievable.
But then all of a sudden, around the around either the three to 8-ish month mark,
Yeah.
people will feel like shit because they're not getting adequate amounts of protein. The fats that they're getting are not from a viable source.
Vitamin K is non-existent, basically, in
What
that
the hell is
diet.
vitamin K, dude?
Makes you feel okay.
It makes you feel like you're left on red.
I was waiting for Zayd to explain that,
Yeah.
but you kind of just stopped.
Vitamin K is just one of those very important nutrients that we all need. That
Okay, I was thinking like
comes from animal foods and fats.
vitamin K. Do you know what exactly? Well, not exactly, but like what, like
I mean,
the counter, like
a
what it
lot of
does?
stuff goes into it, but it's necessary for proper jaw development, hormonal development, all of that.
Whoa.
Jazz.
whoa.
It was known as vitamin X
I'm
by
sorry.
who was
It's
it?
a fat-
Dr. Weston A. Price. He studied all this stuff.
Oh
It's
my
a
God.
fat-soluble vitamin
Yeah.
that is naturally present in some foods
So
and is available as a dietary supplement.
according to Dr. Zayd over here, if you want to develop a well-structured jaw,
You got to mew a lot,
you
and you have to.
mew?
what
Are
is-
you serious?
What is mu?
Mewing? You've never heard of mewing?
Well, isn't the mu another
Well,
way to
that's the
describe
reason why.
average?
That's the reason why I have mastic gum. Gives you that little jaw pump.
Yeah, that he's right.
Oh wait,
mastic
that,
gum.
that shit that looked like
It's the
crack,
masseter, muscle that
Yeah.
it grows.
That shit that looked like crack and tasted
Mm-hmm.
horrible and like legit. I think I got a chemical burn in my fucking
Yeah.
mouth because of it.
Here's what's interesting about
I've never had a
mastic
problem
gum.
with it. I love it.
Mastic gum has been around for years, obviously, since our fucking ancestors. But anyway,
Isn't
what's
it of Arab
crazy is that it's
origin?
in rock form, right?
Mm.
So then when it's like crystallized or whatever, it comes in two forms. There's a clear version, and then there's one that looks kind of like goldish. The goldish one is the hardest one to eat.
Was that the one I tried?
I don't know which one.
I don't
did you
think
have?
so.
It was yellowy. Like there was some
Okay,
color
so
to
it's
it.
probably
It wasn't
it's in between.
clear.
It's probably in between.
Because I mean, dude, that shit like.
It tastes like shit. Don't get me wrong.
Here's the part that bothered me was no matter how much I fucking shoot it, it never turned into like gum. It was just stuck everywhere in my
Yeah,
teeth,
yeah,
like the worst.
No.
caramel.
I've had that experience. I think it has to. You either have to drink water before or something like that.
My
It
mouth
depends on the circumstance.
was nice and moist, ready to receive the mastic gum.
Yeah.
Never say that again.
Ah,
Okay.
shut up.
Listen.
People that get bothered by the word moist kind of irritate me.
It's just a word, dude.
Yeah. Like, why does it bother you? I'm not
I
going to
know.
repeat
It's not the word.
it, but
It's not the
like-
word moist. It's the sentence in which the context in which you used it.
No,
What?
a lot of people
And
are
the fact
just
that you're staring straight into his eyes.
moist. Okay, I feel the effect.
No, let's expand on this. What do you have against moist?
I don't have anything against moist.
No, we're asking. What do you have against? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on.
Let's
Let's do
wrong
this.
with moist?
Everybody, in 3, 2, 1, we're gonna stare. All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Moist.
Now, if you feel uncomfortable,
Leave
we
a
do not
comment down
apologize.
below.
We do not apologize. Not here.
No apologies.
But
Leave us a comment on Instagram about how we should never ever do that again on the podcast.
Good sir, do you mind taking this vitamin K tab down
Why is it irritating?
so
you?
I can review my amazingly structured notes?
I like how they use Karens as like the image of vitamin K.
Looks like some chicks that you
Vitamin Karen. Wow, dude. That was not planned.
I swear to God, I've seen that lady at like a mother's market.
swear, dude. She's picking up her wick shit.
Speaking of
What?
speaking of Wick,
What about it?
John Wick,
I knew you were going
John's stick, broomstick. We're talking about witches today and magic.
there. Yes.
Correlation is not causation.
Okay.
Hey, stop thinking about
Fuck
things.
you.
Dude, we don't pay you to think about things. In fact, we don't pay you at all.
Okay. So as we all know, Halloween is approaching.
The ween is around the corner.
The ween.
The Halloween is around the corner.
So this is how we do things.
Jesus Christ.
It's Jason Bourne.
Yes.
Can we not be serious for one fucking second?
I'm on
This
a
is
roll.
the beauty of
I'm
the
on a roll
podcast.
right now. You can't
No,
stop
this
it.
is the beauty of it. I know.
Okay,
I
okay.
know.
Okay. That was Very 2015 of you, but
I'm on a roll right now. You can't stop me.
damn. The only roll we're on is dinner rolls, but
Yo, a king Hawaiian sweet roll right now sounds so good. Dude,
Yeah, I'm sure you want to stuff your face with those.
if you get some Irish butter in a pan, and then you get those rolls, cut them in half, put them on, just torch the inside of them, get them nice and crispy with the butter. Get some pulled pork, put that stuff on there, or shredded beef or whatever. Really, either beef or pork, but not chicken. I would say, unless it's like lathered.
I swear to
with
God,
teriyaki.
you're going to open up your own restaurant soon, eventually, guaranteed.
I'm down.
His inner Rachel Ray is just begging to come out.
Why is it Rachel Ray? Why can't it be like Gordon Ramsay?
You think I'm going to compare
Yeah,
you to
bro.
Gordon Ramsay?
No,
Oh my
but
God.
like it would have been nice if you did it. It would have felt really good. But no, I'm fucking Rachel Ray. Nothing against Rachel Ray, but like,
She's gotten pretty fat over the years.
what
Not
are
gonna
you
lie.
talking about?
She's gained some weight, bro.
Well, why do you need to mention that?
Because it's important. She needs to take care of her health.
She cooks food, bro. Like,
Doesn't matter.
Come on.
You don't need to become
okay,
fat.
I don't
gives
even
a
know
shit?
who the hell Rachel Ray is.
I give a shit.
Rachel Ray is a food star.
I
or is
give a shit
old, Food Network star.
Because if she has an increased level of body fat, that means she's going to live
Yeah.
less longer. And that means she's not going to share her gift of cooking with us.
she's going to live less longer.
Damn. Don't you hate when people?
That's such
I know,
an
it's so
interesting way
fried.
to phrase
It's
that.
so fried.
What?
Forgive me, I have a Zyn pouch coursing through my veins right now. Anyways,
Anyway. Yeah, dude. Witchcraft. Witchcraft is a very interesting, broad topic to talk about. It dates back to ancient Egypt. Our favorite place.
isn't our topic
No,
black
it has
magic?
To, it has to be older than ancient
Well, yeah.
Egypt. It has to be
It's-
as old
it's-
as the
it
oldest
has-
civilization.
It is much
probably.
older. But for the sake of that era,
I feel like a better place to start would probably be how do we define it?
how do we define it?
Yeah.
Witchcraft is probably the
Or
a
wait,
st-
witchcraft should come later.
No, we're just
okay.
talking about magic.
So dark magic.
Yeah, what is the definition of magic, I guess you could say?
Yeah. Well, according to many sources, magic is still not accurately defined till this day.
Not accurately
Swear to God.
defined.
What does that mean?
I mean, it has multiple definitions.
Okay, so that's different
Yeah, but
than not accurately
it was
defined.
never set as an actual like default definition. I guess because it could fall into the act of
Dude,
something else.
Aleister Crowley,
Yeah.
that's a crazy motherfucker.
Yeah,
I
that's-
listened to a
that's a
podcast on him
nutso
this
story.
morning. What a weird dude.
Alistair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a creepy dude. Did some crazy shit.
Some people call him the Antichrist.
Now, I'd
Yeah.
like to say that when we talk about magic, a lot of people are going to think of show magic, right? So, what people did actually was they added a K to the word magic to differentiate themselves from show magic. Did you know that?
So okay, that actually makes sense now. I just thought it was just some.
What? Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't like that.
What do you mean
you don't like
I don't
that?
like that
I
either.
feel like that's stupid.
It's a fact. It doesn't. Your feelings aren't involved in this.
Well, I mean, whether it's a fact or not, it doesn't mean I have to like it or not.
Yeah, fair enough.
I still
True.
think it's kind of stupid. Like it's just like magic.
Yeah, it is,
Just
and it
magic.
Look, I'll
Like,
tell you from now. The
If
word
you have a hard time differentiating the two, maybe it's time to look into. A different
I'll tell you
profession,
from
like-
now. It looks stupid too.
and it just feels dumb. Like, well, it's spelled out right there. It's MAGICK. It's
Yep.
like
Oh, they put a CK. They don't just put a K.
Yeah.
no, it's ICK. So now instead of magic, it's magic.
Yeah.
Ew. Gross.
Yeah,
Disgusting.
but I mean, they want it to be differentiated. I guess they hated people that did card magic. Like, ooh, was this your card? It's like, no, dude. I'm trying to manipulate someone using supernatural force.
I'm
What
trying
are
to
you-
kill
and-
this guy using
Yeah.
voodoo shit.
Yeah.
You're fucking me up with your cards.
I'm trying to open up this parallel
as
universe
opposed
with
to
your balls
normal
and
magic
cups.
with a C, where they try to manipulate people with like sleight of hand and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, okay, here's the thing. If we're talking about, well, it does say magic illusion, the art of performing, or the art of appearing to perform supernatural feats. I can get if you're in a coven, like legit into the magic shit, you make potions,
Yeah.
you cast spells and shit. And then some motherfucker, like Chris Angel, who's gonna freak your mind,
Yeah.
comes onto the scene. He's a magician. Yeah, I get why they would be upset by that.
I mean, yeah, just pop on some eyeliner. Everyone's a magician, I guess. But
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Or if you're Spice Rack, just carry a deck of
Yeah.
cards everywhere.
Well, it's like the way I'm thinking about it is like for musicians, Like, there's a lot of different music to be made, or that people can make, that classifies them as a musician because they're making music, right?
Yeah.
However, we don't change the word or the spelling of musician because we don't like this specific group of musicians.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a good point.
I don't.
Now,
Maybe I'm just being a dick.
specifically,
which is nothing new, but
dark magic, also known as black magic, which is the opposite of white magic. Black magic is used for evil. White magic is
that's
used
racist.
That is something
I'm sorry.
interesting I learned though.
Well, if you look at color palettes, they all speak, right? If
What
we've
are you
learned
talking about?
If we've listened to
Color palettes, clearly.
yeah, dude, like the color red is associated with love.
No, but
Or
what do you
like-
mean they speak? Do we need to get you into a therapist?
Yeah, no, dude. Dude, colors speak, bro. I don't know what you're talking
They
about.
say what's good every time you open up the color palette.
Oh my god. Okay, my main point
sorry.
is
Keep going.
that
Be quiet.
magic was used primarily for evil.
Dark magic.
Dark magic.
Word.
Let's call it dark magic for the sake of you two.
Yeah, because nobody ever wants to do anything nice. Everybody's like, fuck this guy. We're going to fucking burn his
Yeah.
house down using
like-
magic.
Yeah, exactly. What are my options? Now, what's scary about back in the day is how easily accessible that was. Casting spells, making voodoo dolls, and just getting your way through life using the parallel universe and summoning forces and energy to get what you want.
Something I think's trippy about that, the making spells part,
Mhm.
or potions
Yeah.
especially, is the apothecary
Mm-hmm.
and I guess you could say older civilizations or societies, that had to have been stemmed from some form of witchcraft, right?
Yeah.
Or at least like the sage's advice over time, which
Yeah.
usually had an air quote spiritual connection.
Yeah. So the same way we have the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, and everything, they had their own book. And that book is old.
It
As
do be
hell.
old
Is there one specific book for dark magic?
for magicians,
There was
With a
one
K.
original book. It was called the
magicians?
Gamia?
Well, we know the Egyptians
I
had
don't know what
the Book of the Dead.
I believe you were talking about the grimoire.
Yeah, the Grimoire.
Grimoire.
The grimoire. That's
AKA
Grimoire for anybody that's curious.
Exactly. So that's the book of witchcraft,
Shocker, the Book of Spells. I would have
Grimoire.
never guessed.
aka a book of spells, is basically a guide that tells you everything you need to know about casting.
What I find interesting is that
Expelliarmus.
ancient cultures, I mean, they viewed magic as a form of creating justice, enacting justice.
Yeah.
So they would use it for, like, if somebody, stole something from them, they would cast a spell against them.
Which usually was just like, I'm going to cast this sledgehammer into your skull. It'll bring you bad luck.
Yeah.
You know. Like,
Apparently, the way most cultures did it was they wrote some gibberish down on a note on a piece of paper.
gave it to an assassin.
Yeah.
They tied it up. They tied it up and they actually buried it under the ground for some reason. I guess that's their equivalent of planting seeds.
Give it to an assassin.
Assassin's Creed.
I hate to break it to you, but that's not a spell.
Well, it's the spell of death. That's money.
I like how you just whisper shit. Like,
But it's like,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
You think that's what Hillary and
When you
Bill
say it's a
did?
form of justice, in my mind, my understanding of, I guess, antiquated civilizations or societies is they were way more fucking brutal and straightforward than we were.
yeah.
And also very mistrusting, I would imagine, and very gullible.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that being said, if you say that they caught somebody and their punishment was all they did was write something on a note and put it in the ground and that guy just got to walk around doing whatever the fuck it was he was doing before, hell no. They would have messed
well,
that guy up.
I assume this is on a more personal level.
It is. So
You don't
he
have
got
a
a
judicial
beating.
system.
So
you
he
don't
got a
have any of
beating
this.
and they cast a spell on him.
Sure, we'll give them both.
yeah.
All right.
So I don't.
Kick
A
his
lot
ass
of-
in the physical realm and kick his ass in the spiritual one.
Upon doing a lot of research, I found like a certain pattern, and a lot of it was used with envy and jealousy. A lot.
I would imagine so. And
So
love.
it must have been a scary period, dude, because you know how like in today's age we like think about like I wonder what people think of me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Back then it wasn't I wonder what people think of me. It's I wonder if someone has casted a spell upon me.
I wonder if somebody. I
Like-
wonder if society disapproves of me.
Mm-hmm.
They thought at least I guess you want to call it earlier English civilizations. They were worried about what everybody thought, similar to that of like a Japanese society,
Yeah.
like for the community.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're very just fucking closed in because we can. I mean, shit. Amazon will send me groceries to my house.
Yeah.
Like I can pay somebody a couple extra bucks to go to the Whole Foods near my house, which is like 10 minutes away, and they'll go get all the stuff that I need and come back. And then if they mess up your order, you get like a heavy discount for it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically free delivery and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
What's crazy to me is like, okay, we grab our phones, we scroll through Instagram or Twitter, right? That's commonplace.
Yeah.
It's a common habit we all have. But so in their equivalent to that back then was opening up this book, probably searching up a spell, creating a potion, doing whatever, just so that they're universal.
It's very casual, and that must have been terrifying. I mean, but the thing is, like, people were having wars. People were having like spell wars, dude.
spell.
They're like, "Oh yeah, I lost my limb. I'm gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do for you tonight." You know, like, don't make me whip out my book, dog. You know,
I'll whip out my book on you. man.
what in God am
Can we go down a bit, please?
No.
Yeah, but and I think we should answer everyone's question that they probably have right now. No, witches were not real.
No,
Okay.
go up actually.
That is not true.
I mean, witches in the sense that we know it, like riding brooms and shit.
Yeah, that shit wasn't true.
That was
you were correct
mainly
there.
psychedelic drugs and potions that
There's
they do.
actually
Allegedly.
evidence.
Allegedly, we don't
There's
have
actually
we don't really
some
have
good
any evidence.
to back that up.
There is.
Some
According to
form
Zayd.
of like either fermented alcohol or
Fermented
something like
something.
that.
It was probably an alcohol that they use either rye or some grain for, and in the germ of it, once it ferments, it like actually creates somewhat of a psychedelic experience. If I remember correctly,
Yeah.
there was an episode on House that was about that.
Wow.
Yeah, this chick, she was like I forget what her family background was, but she was something like European or Eastern European for sure.
Yeah.
Like Slovak, Croatian, something like that. And she had this is it unleavened bread? I can't remember what kind it was, but essentially she got this like bread from a farmer's market from like a person that she likes, and the person who was making the bread didn't create it properly, and she started tripping and seeing her mom
Yeah.
all the time. So she thought she could like see spirits and shit. And the whole episode was about getting her to understand like what was actually happening.
Yeah.
So
Is this ergot that we're talking about?
No, this is House, the show
House.
House.
No, ergot, which is the actual like
yeah, probably. I don't.
which is actually very common from what I've
Like
read.
the source of fermentation, you mean?
Yeah, like
Okay.
breweries they come across it consistently.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
it's not crazy to back in the day this was very
Yeah.
commonplace.
That's very interesting. But there are many ways of casting spells. I heard of collectible items that you would have to collect, especially if you want to do like, you want to harm them physically, right? What was it? It was a piece of fabric. There was
you need their
articles of
DNA.
hair,
Yeah.
DNA, skin, dead skin, stuff like that. Nails.
You need a booger from their left nostril.
Yeah, and then dude, I was reading a lot of stuff about
A hair off
even
the right calf. Sorry, continue.
off the right calf.
Mixed with some dingleberries.
Specifically.
Yeah, mix it in.
That's
with
a
some-
serious spell. We'll get into that
It's a
later.
serious
but-
That's if you want to blind them.
Yeah.
No, that's a fate worse than death. Death
Absolutely.
via diarrhea. Which
Yeah.
is a thing. Dudes back in the day, they used to just get diarrhea and they're like, arrange the funeral. This is it.
Arrange.
Game
We're going
over.
down.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that when something wrong would happen to someone, or there was like a non-believer in spells and dark magic, people would consider it an execution, apparently. But like you said, when we laughed at Assassin, basically that.
Well, that's the equivalent of religion for them back
Yeah.
in their time. So yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
I mean, but here's the weird thing, right? Is that they all believed, like, they had a different belief, right? But then they had this as a side practice. Like a practice of, like, I have control or I have power. This is the way of life. It's like
What do you mean? Like they believed in Christianity, for example, and then on the side they
Yeah.
practiced some magical
it's
voodoo
it's like a
shit?
separate book. Like imagine going on wikihow.com. And it's just like, oh, let me just learn
It's
about
like their equivalent of a cookbook
yes
or something.
Of a what?
of a cookbook.
Cookbook.
Basically as a cookbook.
Cookbook.
Because you're casting this dinner tonight. You know what I'm saying?
But this is important right here.
Oh how the tables churn.
This is important right here. Why did they rely on magic specifically?
Well, it was a source of protection. You protect yourself from other spells.
Also, imagine back in the day if you didn't know any better and some motherfucker was like charging you with some shit. You're like, your family's cursed forever. And they're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What? What did you
I
just
gotta
say?
break this
You're
hex.
gonna run to your book and then protect your family. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna cast a spell that shields you.
Or
basically.
just murder somebody who's invading.
True.
That's also a workaround.
But it
Yeah.
doesn't matter because they fully believe in the spell. You can't. I assume you can't get rid of the spell by murdering them.
Yeah.
No, you can get rid of the problem though, which is the angry person invading your
Well,
house.
sure. I mean,
Exactly. But here's the other problem. You kill that guy, his family's gonna come with multiple spells. It's old mafia. That's what it is.
I was gonna say
It's
this sounds like
ancient
mafia Harry Potter.
Yeah. Ancient.
Hey Harry, you cast those spells on the family today. And he's like,
eh.
they got to pay their dues. They're getting double this time. I swear.
Hey, Potter. Potter.
Ron, what did I tell you? Ron, you stupid gamoosh. I'm gonna
stupid gamoosh.
You
So
see this
okay, we have
meatball?
so we have four things, four reasons why the ancients rely
things.
on magic.
Yeah.
4 things.
Now, well, here's the thing. It's not all for bad, obviously. People were casting spells to make someone fall in love with them.
Mm-hmm.
That feels bad though.
It is, well, obviously.
That feels dirty.
because you're going around, like, it's not
You know what I'm saying though?
real. Well, I mean,
But to them, it felt real.
yes,
that's the thing.
It's not real, but it is real because it's happening. Right?
But here's the thing. Did it work?
Yes, it did. And that
But do
brings
we
me
have
to
proof of that, though?
that brings me to my point,
Oh,
which is
okay.
why they call it a parallel universe. It's two universes colliding.
Yo, I
Right?
need an ancient astronaut theorist in the building.
For real. But
I want the guy from Ancient Aliens with the crazy hair.
imagine,
You know he
dude,
casts spells on his off time.
imagine. Like we've all heard of jinn or genies or spirits.
Oh, Jin. I'm sorry that took
Yeah.
me a second to think of that.
like jinn? No.
No, that's not what I thought.
Oh,
But I
okay.
was like, what? Oh, okay. I remember.
Yeah. I mean, across many religions, we know that there's an existence of like other
The White Walker.
potential beings or
Okay,
Or no,
here's,
it's the Skinwalker. That's what it is.
skinwalker.
Not supposed to mention his name either.
here's the thing. Now, do religious people? So you're religious, of course,
Yes.
as you've
I'm very
previously
holy
mentioned.
man.
Do you
I'm
believe?
holy.
Do you believe in magic?
To a certain extent. Yes.
Because in my mind, if you believe in religion, you have to automatically believe in magic.
Of course. Well, here's the thing, right? As much power as we have, there's no way you're stronger than the Almighty.
The deities that be.
Yes. Which is God. Right? But here's the thing.
Okay.
On this earth, everyone's going to try to convince you that they have the power to do a lot. And that's because that's within our peripheral vision.
Okay.
I have a
That's
question.
the things we see.
I have a question that's highly offensive to religious people.
Sure.
And
God forbid.
I know already that it is.
I'm already offended.
I'm triggered.
I'm tripping, dude.
Like, and I don't mean any ill intent. I just like want to hear a religious person's perspective of this.
Sure.
But what is the major difference between, I guess, magic in this instance, how we're discussing it, at least on the podcast, and religion?
That's an excellent question.
What is it?
Because we were talking about you have a big book of spells. I'm going to reference Christianity for
Sure.
this.
Sure.
We have a big book of spells, the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
People go to it for advice,
Yeah.
the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
People go to figure out how to cast spells, prayers. And it doesn't necessarily have to be evil, but I guarantee you a lot of people do make dark prayers quite a bit. Like, dear God, if I don't give this man $30,000, I will die. Can you make him pop up on my lap? Like,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
can you make him?
I get you.
Can you make him go away? Shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
and you have the belief in like other deities or beings, which would be God or the angels in this instance,
Or aliens.
or aliens,
Or the same thing.
That's a great. You know what? That's a great point that
Yeah.
a lot of people don't bring up enough.
Yeah.
Why can't you be religious about aliens?
Well, that's the thing, dude.
Why can't you?
If God created us and created animals and created things we haven't even seen in the deep sea, we haven't even seen
See.
in the deep blue sea, right? What
Yes.
what else has he created? Now,
Yeah, you think he stopped at one?
That's
like?
the thing. People think I mean like the big green thing. No, we don't know if that's what it looks like. But
They're not green, they're gray. But like, continue.
yeah, if anything, they could be
Seriously,
invisible.
we have
I
evidence that
no
they're
idea.
real, by the way. So
Yeah, we do. I mean, we've all seen the flying Obama pyramid. The flying Obama pyramids.
3 a.m.
For anyone that doesn't know, there's
was-
a meme that just heavily relates.
That was still one of the stories that, like, was it the CIA or the Pentagon came out saying, yeah, we've had this shit for years and we don't know what to do with it or
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
it is. How did that one get swept under the rug?
I have no idea.
But when the Navy dropped a video about it, it was the biggest news. But then when
Yeah.
one of the most official, other than like the president of the United States or the vice president, came out and said, we got this, everybody was like, who the fuck cares? The world's on fire. Like,
The world's
Yeah.
on fire.
oh, there's life outside of the planet? And then all of a sudden everybody was like, we knew that shit.
yeah.
Self-interest. Self-interest.
People were just like, "Yeah, I was right." And that's it.
Who
Yeah,
gives,
they're like,
who
we
gives a
knew.
shit about
Yeah.
aliens?
Like,
I have to
what?
pay my bills, okay? Like,
Yeah.
that's
No,
what it comes
I
down
get
to
it.
at the end of the day.
Because that's why they release the news on the day that rent is due, so that everyone forgets.
The day taxes were due. They dropped
Yeah,
that shit
exactly.
coincidentally. Just got just pick up the rug, just go like that, drop it.
It wasn't any rug; it was a Persian rug.
So
Speaks.
not only did they use it for protection, okay, they wanted to protect themselves from evil spirits, other people casting spells against them. They used it as a means for healing. Correct?
Yeah. And
So
don't forget ego.
ego, yes. Now, I think here's the cool thing. Sure, magic might be esoteric and
Yeah.
not grounded on truth per se, but they also used, since they were ancient people, they had a real understanding of the environment around them, the plants, their uses. They had ancient tradition to heal certain things, but they also combined that, so they had a very scientific approach to healing certain ailments, and they also combined that with a very magical perspective.
Yeah.
So it goes to show they can relate both things, even though they didn't understand science at
It's
the
very
time.
interesting.
Yes, I agree.
So I mean, now
I can concur.
yeah, we come to today's age, right? And then it's just a bunch of people like David Blaine, people
Davey
that
B.
palm readers, stuff like that. Palm readers are very interesting because
have you
I
been
want
to
to go
one?
to one.
no,
I want.
I'm not allowed to religiously.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, I could
because
see that.
we're told that it's BS, and if anything, it's only for it's for your benefit not to go.
Well, the sinners can try it. We can.
I've already done it.
The sinners
I've been
can-
to one. I got my tarot cards read. There's this
Yeah.
chick in LA that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not surprised she's in LA.
What?
But I
Okay.
definitely want to experiment with that.
No, it was
It's
weird.
interesting.
It was very weird.
I'd like to hear your experience on that.
Well, okay, here's the deal. You could say that tarot card readers are bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's fine. You know, I would actually probably be on the same side as you in that argument. However, I'm just going to recall my experience and what actually happened. So I went there with 2 other dudes,
Sure.
one of which didn't get anything. The other one got his palm read. The guy who got his palm read went in first. He came out almost in tears. Like, he was genuinely upset or,
Oh
like,
my
moved
God.
or something.
Yeah.
And it was like, what's going on here? And he was just like, I don't have anything in me. Like, literally. Like, she told him, like, there's something very wrong with your energy. Like, is X, Y, and Z happening in your life? And he came out and he said all that shit. He's like, she was fucking money. Like, yeah.
Damn. So like harsh.
Like,
truth.
it was pretty brutal. Like,
Damn.
for a card reader that you're paying money to go to, she was being at least honest in her sense of being honest.
Did he say if it was very detailed information that nobody else would know?
Other people would know, but like people that were involved with it.
Because from my understanding with, how do you say it,
Tarot.
Tarot card readers is that they make general assumptions that apply to a large number of people.
Some of them were specific for in his instance. Like I said, some people would know about the incident, but they had to have been involved with it. And I don't even know what the incident was. He didn't even tell me.
Yeah.
So for her to guess that shit right, and I don't know, or at least pretty damn close.
Now think about it. Now I don't, even if that was real, okay? I don't think that person would have the power physically within her brain to just know that information. So what I think it is obviously you're messing at that point with real life spirits that we do not see. So spells are essentially a way to communicate with the spirits around you, to collect information on things that they have seen, because they literally live around us 24/7.
But what if she does have the power?
She does not have the power. She has the
she
source.
She has the ability to connect to.
Yes.
I actually believe that we all have so collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay? That's a real thing. It's a real phenomenon. What is intuition?
Intuition is basically that gut feeling that we all have, and especially mothers have towards their children, to just be able to tell if something is wrong or if something good happened. You know, it's kind of like, it's a weird feeling.
I don't know. I have a hunch that you can that it's almost like a skill. You can that you can tap into something greater than yourself, some energy, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and pull information out of that realm.
This is going to be so much fun to tell you this story after what you guys have just said.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's
Oh
going
my
to be
god!
way too much fun.
Okay, go on with that actually then.
So, one more preface before I get into my portion.
Sure.
Right before I went in and the other guy came out, she was like setting up for it, essentially, because she knew I wanted my cards read. And I asked one of the dudes, not the guy who just went in, but the one who was not doing anything that day. I'm like, have you gotten your cards read by her before? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, was it legit? And he's like, if I came here and paid and didn't feel like it was legit to some capacity, I wouldn't have brought you here. And I was like, was yours like super happy-go-lucky when she read your cards? And he was like, no. It was like a combination of like really personal things and some other good things. And I'm like, did she tell you to like look forward to the future? And he's like, obviously, but that's what everybody says to you, regardless if they read tarot cards or not.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's a fair point, right? So I went in, and the lady it was fun because she was like, she liked to talk shit a little bit. Like, she kind of was like fucking around. And so it was like, okay, like I could vibe with this person.
Yeah.
And I wish I could remember the cards she pulled out, but it was so long ago. She pulled out the cards, like placed a couple down or placed them all down or whatever, and was like, whoa, just out of the gate. Like, whoa. I was like, what does whoa mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is...
Oh my god.
She's like, your cards are a lot. And I was like, you going to elaborate on that? And she's like, give me a second. And like legit just...
Pop some Tylenol.
She literally, she was like just sitting there taking it in. Like,
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody focus on cards that like it wasn't poker so heavily. Like, she was reading the Bible. Like, it was like, oh my God, like just shocked. I was like, so what's going on? She's like, she's like, you're in school, obviously. And I'm like, yeah, that was a good guess. And she's like, but you're not at your first school. And I'm like, no, I'm not at my middle school anymore. And she's like, no, your first college. She's like, you definitely went to one before the one you're at now. I was like,
How did you know that?
I was like, yeah, you're right. And she's like, it was an artistic field, the first one, but something happened because you felt like it couldn't work out in the long run.
That's a very detailed fucking...
She wasn't guessing. She just said it. Like, she wasn't asking questions about... She was just like, I could tell it was art.
Yeah.
And you realize it wouldn't work out, which would be a good generalization to make.
Yeah.
Right? And then she was like, she's like, I'm going to guess you got into business and it's not for numbers, which is true. It's realistically for managing people. That's kind of what my degree is. And I'm like, you're correct in that. And then she said some other things about music or whatever it was, like just saying stuff about my family and whatnot. Like, she guessed that I had a dog that was dead for a couple of years. That was weird.
See, I like how you said guessed.
Yeah, I didn't say anything though. She's like, you have
Yeah.
a dog, which I mean, once again, would be a fair assumption to make.
Yeah.
But for her to almost accurately guess like how long the dog has been dead, like off by not even a year.
Like you could say they were guesses, but she was just very confident, on point,
Yeah.
no hesitation.
Yeah, it wasn't like, I'm going to assume you had a dog. No, it was like, you had a dog that died a couple years back, right?
Okay.
Like, I was like, yeah.
His name was Smith.
No, she didn't guess his name or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the part that really got weird was like, or not weird, but interesting, was when it got towards the end. That's when things ramped up a little bit.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, so from the moment the moment you walked in the door, I've been like just looking at you. And I said, I appreciate that. But
Thanks for checking me out.
said, thank you for being honest. And she was like, no, like you're glowing, literally. And I was like, what? And I'm like, my complexion's horrible. She's like, I'm not talking about your skin routine, all right? She's like, you were literally glowing. Like, it's almost hard to look at you. I was like, really? And she's like, it feels like there's a second person in the room. And then she was like, wait a minute. Like, just stop for a second. I was like, okay. Looked at the cards, like, tilted one to the side, was looking around. She's like, oh, that makes sense. And it just, like, popped into her head, and I'm like, what? She's like, there is another person in the room. I'm like, it's your baby's in the back, like, and it's you and me right here. That's what I said to her. I'm like, who else is in the room? She's like, no, you have a gift. I was like, a gift?
And then you remembered the Matrix.
I like
scene.
being told that.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I have a gift, really. What's the gift? And she's like, you have a celestial being with you. And I'm like, a celestial being? She's like, think of it as a guardian angel. And it wants the best for you.
Wow.
Oh.
And I was like, really?
Okay, here's my question. From the moment you were born up to right now, have you had experiences where it seems like near-death experiences where you feel like you should have died but haven't? Or something of that nature?
I had one that I probably should have died, but luckily I've fallen off of a skateboard enough.
Or I'm talking about like a pattern that you can see. Because I'm trying to relate it to this whole being thing.
Not really. Like, I mean, I've already told my story about seeing a ghost in DC.
Yeah.
I actually just remembered I had a sleep paralysis incident a long time ago.
Scary.
But it wasn't recurring. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in my old house, and I was on my back which, by the way, I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
The main way to get sleep paralysis, or it's usually triggered when you sleep on your back,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I need to read more into the article, but we could talk about the magic behind that, the spirits and shit behind, or
Yeah.
the ancient belief of what.
Okay.
Sleep
What did she?
paralysis.
Did she say anything else? After
I was
the-
gonna say the sleep paralysis thing.
Okay.
I was in my room,
Yeah.
and I just remember like I tried to get up. Like it literally felt like I was moving. I could feel movement of my body, but then it would feel like I'd get to a point, and then it would just phase back into me. Like it could feel weight, and it would snap back.
Yeah.
Like it was weird, and every phase was like like you could feel it.
So
Like
you could feel some like energy or motion.
it was something. I
Yeah.
don't know what it was, but at the point where like I was just fully locked, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna sit here till I can move again. That's when in the corner of my room there was like a shadow figure, kind of like a dude or something. It wasn't a human, but it was trying to almost mimic one. And it came over, and I just remember it like, I guess was looking down at me, like, because it was hunched over, and then it just it put its hand out over my eyes and went like this. And then the second that it went black and I saw the room again, I could move. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, no. That's
Pretty goddamn creepy, if you
yeah,
ask
that's
me.
very creepy, and the fact that it's live and happening. God, dude.
Celestial being.
Yeah, she said you were looking, it's looking out for you. It wants the best for you. And she said your time is coming soon. And I was like, what does that mean? She's like, you'll know when you get there.
When was this?
This was like a year or so ago.
Oh, so not too long. Okay.
No, not too long ago.
Damn, dude.
Now I really need to go.
It was trippy. Yeah, she might just fuck with you. Like, literally say some horrible shit.
Yeah.
Like, that you
I'm
don't
open
want
to
to
it.
hear.
I'm open to it.
Yeah.
She's like, Oh my god. His
Send me-
tweets are trash.
Actually, we'll make a trip to
Okay.
LA together soon. I want to do that.
Yeah. Dude, this whole COVID thing, man, has ruined LA.
LA was ruined a long time ago.
I know, but I used to be in LA a lot more.
That's true.
It doesn't stop me from
I
going.
mean, I wasn't really.
That's
I
true. It
never
doesn't
went
really
up there.
stop you from going, but
No, fucking Gavin Newsom could get his shit together, but we don't need to talk about that. Oh, I need to bring this up on the podcast
What
because
happened?
nobody is fucking talking about this, and I'm sorry, this will be the only politics thing I mention. It's really important
It's
because
spir-
it's fucking insane.
spiritual.
So it's
No, kidding.
crazier than any of the other shit he's done yet.
Yeah.
Crazier than getting rid of or making it illegal to buy gasoline-powered
Newsom.
cars by 2030.
We're talking about Newsom, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Gavin Newsom. It's crazier than that one.
What is it?
It's more unbelievable than the reparations one. I think the reparation one would happen before this would happen because this is just straight up unconstitutional, and he recommended this. So when you leave, and what's happening in California right now? Let's start there with the people. What's happening with people in California in general?
They're getting divided, kind of.
Okay, we're
Two
getting
groups.
divided.
What's happening to
People
people
are
in
losing their
California?
jobs.
We're leaving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting the fuck out of here because this state doesn't make sense sometimes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy
The
place
whole
to be.
recall thing has been popping the past week or two.
Yeah, but here's another catalyst as to why.
Okay.
He's motioning for a bill to go into Congress or to the Senate. I'm totally blanking, but he wants a bill to be passed where essentially, if you want to leave California, irregardless of your tax bracket, when you leave to any other state and declare citizenship, you get taxed 20% of all of your assets every year.
Dude, that's against the Constitution, no?
I think I've heard of
Not
that.
for 1 year,
For 10?
for 10 years.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Dude, what the fuck? That's actually
It's
the
just batshit
stu-
crazy.
Like, what is wrong with him?
Insanity.
What? He was chill until COVID.
Oh, yeah. No, he wasn't chill before COVID either.
He was a little bit more chill.
Barely. It just wasn't in the news.
That's true. Now everyone's on the news now, for sure.
Exactly.
People that don't even care about politics care about politics. People
you-
that don't care about nutrition care about nutrition.
Hear this shit. This is why he wanted to do the tax in the first place. He's doing it because so many wealthy people that want to start businesses and can't because the cost of establishing a business or the not acquisition cost, but the startup cost is just insanity. For
Yeah.
any
Yeah, so they wanna
business
move
at
out.
any tax bracket, any amount of profit, it's ridiculous. It's almost impossible. And
Makes no sense.
seriously.
Dude, like, I'd rather die. What the fuck?
Oh no,
What the
here
hell? You're basically dead inside. At that
I haven't
point.
gotten to the best part
Anyway.
yet, by the way.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part of the whole thing. So rich people are leaving, and other people that want to start businesses, entrepreneurs, are leaving because they don't want to do business here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So Gavin Newsom came up with that idea that I just mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets better. If I read the bill proposition correctly, he doesn't want to, or it doesn't include people that leave. Like, let's say theoretically it passes today,
Mm-hmm.
and we leave California today.
Sure.
Not only would it apply for us for 10 years, somebody that left California 8 years ago would still get the tax for 2 years.
I think Newsom's
That-
casting spells out
That's
here,
insanity.
Yeah, that's literally
He's trying to
insanity.
cast
It
spells.
makes no sense.
He's doing some dark magic.
And don't you just love how the motive for everything is money? Money, money, money. Like, dude, I guess to a point where you had enough.
Well, what's fucking hilarious is he doesn't realize the root of the problem, and it's that people can't start businesses here.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they're gonna fucking leave.
He's a Momo, dude.
Like no matter what tax bracket you're in this state, the taxes are still insane.
Yeah.
State with the combination of state and federal tax.
I miss the bodybuilding champion.
Schwarzenegger. Like, don't get me wrong, taxes are important, but you just need to understand how to utilize them properly.
Yeah.
Because if taxes are stupidly high, rich people don't want to pay that shit. If it's lower, they don't mind paying it.
Yeah, and then there's going to be more fraud at that point.
Yeah. Just close the loopholes, lower the tax rate. It's
Call
probably
it
going to
a
work
day.
out okay in the end.
Yeah. What happened to what But business is all about
Also-
negotiation. There's no negotiation whatsoever. It's just like, let's propose this bill, and then either passes or doesn't.
Also,
It's not up to you.
stop incentivizing the Fortune 100 companies. Literally, just for starters, we don't make them pay taxes. Like, we give them significant tax cuts, and then on top of that, the government gives them money to do more business.
Yep.
Yeah.
People are like, why didn't these businesses pay fucking taxes? It's all their fault. It's the fucking government's fault because they didn't do their job right.
That's
Like,
where the control is.
yeah. These businesses are taking advantage of it because they can.
Yeah.
We know how deep this fucking
Sucks.
rabbit
It's
hole
some
goes.
fucking
It's like
witchcraft.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the topic.
It's like a
Fuck you, Newsom.
sucks to suck kind of thing, you
Fuck
know?
you, Newsom.
God damn it.
Recall Newsom.
I like
Where were
how it's
we at?
called Fortune 100.
Okay, actually go down a bit.
Speaking of
Let's see where
Fortune,
we
I ordered my tea today. By the way, I'm drinking peach green tea.
It's good, right?
Unsweetened. It's
No
bomb,
sweetener,
dude.
right?
No sweetener.
Yeah, it's
Bomb
really
hell.
good.
Um,
Especially with some boba in there.
yeah, dude. And I received this message on it that says, "Love yourself."
You should.
Oh, I haven't
You
heard that
deserve
one
it.
before.
You know what, guys? I'd like to take a moment and tell you, fuck spells. Just start loving people. But overall, love yourself.
You
Is
should
it-
start a Twitter account, dude.
This is a controversial opinion.
Yes.
Sorry. I don't think.
I'm waiting.
I don't think
Yeah.
you should always love yourself.
Of course not.
I don't think so because I feel like that's counterintuitive to the whole point of loving yourself. Don't you want to love the best version of you,
Yes.
not the shittiest version of you?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
if you love the shittiest version of yourself,
You're not gonna change.
yeah,
Yeah, but
Such
you can,
trite
but here's the
advice.
thing. Here's the thing. You can't hate yourself because if you hate yourself, you'll never get out of that rut. You'll
No, that's
never get
not
out of
true.
that.
No.
though.
It's not about hating yourself. It's about hating the mentality that you currently have or hating the habits that you
Yeah.
engage in.
Starts with habits.
It has nothing to
and
do with
mentality.
you.
Habit burger? What?
It has more. It's more to do with your lifestyle and how you think.
Well, yeah.
Hate that part. Don't
Yeah.
hate like you, the person you were born as.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, of course. But in the long run, just prioritize making people feel good and then take one day a week to just love yourself and cater to yourself a little bit. And then
love yourself at the end of the week.
There you go.
The beginning, the weekdays are for building.
Kaboom.
The weekends are for relaxing and reflecting.
Yeah.
How well did I do this week? What can I improve on?
Yeah.
And I deserve a treat if I did well this
Yeah.
weekend. Or,
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
One of the people I look up to a lot, Zayd knows this already, Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
But
Bet you were
for
happy.
real though, dude. So it turns out me and him have a lot of similarities in the sense of how we function within ourselves. Okay. One thing that was interesting that he said
Mm-hmm.
was, when you wake up in the morning, don't think about the world. Give yourself time to talk to yourself for 10 minutes before you go out and talk to the world. And I promise you, your day will go so much smoother.
Yeah. Self-reflection.
Self-reflection. Now, why do people lack that? Who knows? But that's
Well,
what
we know. They
at Zader is here for.
wake up and
Yeah,
immediately fucking Twitter, Instagram.
Exactly. Yeah, big guns, cuz. Yeah.
He said something on the podcast that I really, really liked. And he was talking about he was talking to his kids and he was talking about delayed gratification.
Yeah.
And essentially it was a talk on the return on investment, but personal investment. Like
Yeah.
And his kids were like, "Why did you get that trophy?" Which was, him winning the fucking Oscar for
Yeah.
Best Actor in Dallas Buyers Club.
Literally.
Why'd you get the trophy?
Oh my god.
But they're little, So he says,
Yeah.
he's like, I wanted to teach him a lesson in, return on investment or investing in your current self to have a better future self. And he was like, hey, do you remember last year when Daddy got really, really thin and like you called me a giraffe and like we are having
Yeah.
fun playing around? They're like, yeah. Well, some people deemed it a good idea or deemed my work to be worthy of a award. So that 1 month of work, or realistically 5 if you include the dieting or whatever, he's like, those 5 or 6 months of work, a year later after that, got me something worthwhile. And he was like, my kids saw it. Like, they were clicking. They're like,
Yeah.
oh. Like,
Kids are not stupid. They understand.
yeah. Sometimes you got to spell it out for him.
Yeah.
but-
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he's a super cool dude.
Yeah, he seems like he'd be a cool dad.
He is. He really is. And he's just an awesome person, bro.
He's just vibing. You're fucking Matthew McConaughey. What do you have to like?
Seriously,
yeah.
man.
What do you have to complain about, man? Everybody likes you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. Except some douchebags are like, pretty boy, fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And he's like, sorry he looks better than you. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
Sorry.
sorry he did well. Like,
You could do that. It all starts with charisma, dude.
it's all haters, bro.
And having a sense of humor and not being so damn
McConaughey,
uptight and serious.
forget
all the time.
about the haters. They're not worth your time.
Yeah. Just
They're not
know-
worth your 10 minutes in the morning.
Just know the 2 a.m. podcast loves you, loves your work, and all that stuff. What if he sees
Makes
us?
sense. That'd be sick.
You never
That'd
know.
be sick.
We respect you as a dad, as an actor, and as a person.
Yeah, man.
That's some magic right there.
Mhm.
That is some true
That's
magic.
some true magic, dude.
That's-
Hey,
It is.
I like how he has to spell it out to his children.
Ah.
You know. Oh God. Anyway, bro, I'm sick of puns.
Okay. Anyways,
Okay, so practices and rituals.
so we have these. This is not a comprehensive list, but we have a few to name off.
You want to name them off, brother?
So one, the true name spell.
Mm-hmm.
The theory that knowing a person's true name allows control over that person, making this, well, that's a different thing. But basically, if you understand a person's name and you understand the spell, you can create this whatever intention you want. Probably say their name 3 times, kumbaya, and then boom, you have this. You have the spell.
Okay, I got you.
Which I mean, okay, I can get that. I mean, for all of this, the universe is the foundation of all of it is energy. So if you're giving off positive or negative energy, like maybe something would happen.
Well, here's the thing about a true name spell, and here's where I think about it at least. If you know somebody's true name, right, which I assume if you lived in a tight-knit community, most people know each other's true names
Yeah.
anyways. If you catch them doing something bad, you now have the power to get them in trouble. AKA, that's your spell,
Yeah.
right? I feel like that's how it would be in modern terms, at least.
Form of justice. Maybe not objective
accurate.
justice,
Like
but
you catch
personal
them,
justice.
for example, you catch them in an act of...
adultery.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was the word I was looking for. You catch them in adultery, and you're like, I know your true name! And you run to the courthouse, or the court hut.
Yeah.
And
The court shed.
The court shed, bro.
Yeah.
Some rinky-dink shed.
There's no house back then, bro.
Come on.
nobody had roof.
Here's the most exciting one is curses. Which a curse can be
Cursing hex X's.
So by this
Curse and
definition, everyone basically, well, I mean, why do they say curse word?
Yeah.
I mean, it finds itself in our language. A curse can be as simple as wishing something bad would happen to someone,
Yeah.
or as complicated as performing a complex ritual
Well,
to ensure that they die.
okay, now that you mentioned that, it's in our language. I had to think about that for a second. The first thing that came to mind was, what did people say back in yonder days when they got upset at somebody?
I
Don't curse me?
Split my tooth. Don't
No.
curse me.
No.
Damn it.
No, what did you say?
Don't split your tooth. Damn it. What was it?
Damn you!
Damn
you to hell!
Damn you to hell.
I damn your mortal soul to hell to burn in the eternal
Yeah.
flame. That's some curse shit.
Yeah,
And damn is
exactly.
considered a curse word.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is considered a curse? This is Sparta. No,
Now, can you search up what the difference? What is the difference between a curse and a hex? Is a curse
I
just
would like to know
wishing
that.
something
I
bad
think
upon?
a hex is actually an irreversible.
I think you were correct.
Yeah, it's an irreversible curse, basically. So it's just kind of like a imagine having an ad blocker that just works forever.
Oh God!
That is
What did we?
what the-
Amino.
what the
what did
hell
we
is that?
stumble upon?
Amino acids, dude.
I thought it said Wikipedia for a second.
Yo, dude, Winnie the Pooh. What's going on, dude? What?
Yeah.
Let's go to Quora.
Quora's always a move.
Quora.
A spell.
So a
is-
spell. Would you like me to read it out?
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
Curse spells, or better yet, let's start. A spell is any incarnation that helps you channel your magic into action. Now, there are different kinds of spells broadly categorized into 4 types. 1 is curse spells. These are meant to harm another person, as in quoting Dobby, meant to seriously maim or injure, even kill. The unforgivable curses also fall into this category, with reducto, sectum sepra, some other bullshit.
I don't know.
And then we got a hex.
I don't know if
which
you want to
is
repeat those words, Doug. not here.
Yeah, relax, man.
reducto.
Oh, the reductos.
Never mind.
Simpish.
Symptorum.
Symptorum. All of a sudden he's not. He's just
And
a
then a
doormat.
hex is a milder version of a curse where the effects are short term and don't really do much to
Oh,
harm
so
the
a hex
victim.
isn't even worse than a curse.
The jelly legs hex.
Oh my god.
I curse you with jelly legs.
Oh,
It's the-
okay.
it's-
It's a mild form. It's,
It's
like
the bat suit bogey hex.
It's like I hex you, and all of a sudden it's just like your legs work, but they don't work properly, so you're just fucked for
How
life.
fucked up is it that the jelly legs
course.
hex is probably
Worse.
What is it?
What?
Crippling somebody.
Yeah, which is worse than a curse, in my opinion.
Yeah, that shit's
Oh, I didn't even think about jinx.
a jinx.
Is
What
that
is
what
it?
we mean when we say, "Oh, you jinxed me"?
Jinx is, according to me, purely my views. So the views of
Abhishek Nagarkar.
thank you. She's a
Yeah.
Potterhead.
He's
from
a Potterhead.
Hufflepuff on Pottermore.
Okay.
She says
nice.
a jinx are any spells which prevent another person from performing any task. Oh, that's interesting. That's not at all what I was expecting.
Yeah, I thought it was just like the you owe me a soda shit, you know? Jinx, you owe me a soda.
All these spells are further categorized into two categories: verbal and non-verbal.
No, you're right. Because a jinx, the whole thing with a jinx is you say, jinx, you can't talk till you get me a soda. That was the original rule.
Yeah, you're
Ah.
right. You're silenced
Yeah.
until I say your name.
Until I see a Coke.
No, it's well, basically until I see a Coke, or a regular jinx is until I say your name. So you go through the whole day not mentioning their name.
Isn't it amazing how they start? Like you have the origin of all this shit, and then it finds itself all the way into modern day.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
Into
it's
our
all
very
rooted,
language.
dude. It's all rooted into, and I believe it's all in the. It was originally in the Latin language, which makes a lot of sense.
It does. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
That
and they used to use before words. They actually used imagery. Did you know that?
What,
Used to
like,
use statues? They used to carve statues. They used to like voodoo dolls back in the
Yeah,
day.
of course.
oh, like phallic statues too.
Yeah, paintings. So you think like the whole star thing just comes out of nowhere? Hell no, dude. Hell no.
Hell no. Well, apparently. We got a whole nother
Yeah,
set of answers.
Charms.
So we have the curse, hex, jinx. We have charms, germs, which
Germs.
they're a type of spell that are used to perform a particular type of action. So they're not used to harm or maim or seriously injure, but they can mess you up. So it's mainly like affecting objects and stuff
But
like
what
that.
about my lucky charms?
Wingardium Leviosa. Are you serious?
Wingardium Leviosa.
Lumos Nox Alohomara.
No, that makes sense because you're not maiming or injuring shit. So it's like, oh, Wingardium Leviosa, and the remote just comes to my hand.
Yeah.
Like the Force.
What if it actually comes to my hand?
That's very
I would've
interesting,
flipped
dude.
out.
That's so interesting that people live their life like this,
We'll go back
man.
to the notes.
It's like, man, you know how like we
Man.
like every day we don't think about this, right?
Yeah.
But let's just say you have an exam coming, and I go, "Hey, man, good luck."
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that a spell? Technically,
It's a good.
not- it's a
would
good
that be
spell.
Is that a spell or is that a?
I mean, it's a charm. It's a. I didn't really cast anything, but
I guess
it,
that's a
it
charm
hints
then.
at-
Yeah.
It
That'd be a
hints at
charm,
it.
technically.
You know, it's good luck. That means universe provides you luck to do well on this fucking exam. Now, is it the universe or is it the parallel universe?
You were really stuck on this parallel universe idea.
Well, I love the idea of using another world that we don't even know anything about for one thing, and it's to harm or cast, to communicate, to make things happen. Control freak stuff.
You want to know something? I was thinking about something the other day, and I was watching a clip on Joe Rogan's podcast where he had this. I don't even remember his name, but this guy just came in. He was talking about simulations and simulation theory and stuff like that. Obviously, a very intelligent person, like so much so that Joe had like a very hard time, like trying to understand it, which is it's understandable, but.
Yeah.
But in this episode, like he was talking about, there might be like millions of already simulated universes that exist. And then I had to have the thought, we keep thinking of simulation in the sense of computers. Like the simulation has to be computer derivative in order for it to be a thing.
Yeah.
Why does it have to?
What else would it be?
Why can't it be metaphysical?
What do you mean by metaphysical?
Like it transcends electronics rather than there's a whole bunch of simulated universes and then we take off our
like it
VR
stems
headset.
Yeah.
from consciousness or something like that?
No, because that's I feel like that's very human centric in that argument.
Huh.
You have to think past anything involving people or anything that's even remotely related to people. So like in the purest sense, I guess it would be energy maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just spitballing. I don't know. I'm talking out of
Yeah.
my ass right now.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the
But-
thing. It's like I'm almost certain that even the greatest of spellcasters aren't even like they don't even know what the full extent of it is. They use it for one thing, right? So they don't even know what's in that universe, really, if there is one. I don't know. But it brings me to my question, which is, do you believe that it's real?
Magic?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Very interesting. Do you like how I asked it in the middle of the episode?
Yeah, you did ask it in like the middle of the episode. Nobody
Yeah.
responded. You're right.
I mean, I would
What about you, dude?
like to say no. It's the logical thing to say,
Yeah.
but
I agree.
The universe is, I don't know, it's built on some weird shit.
I wouldn't call it magic though.
What would you call it?
I don't know. It's transcendental. It's beyond words.
It's beyond words, and
It's too great to define. So
it's-
to call it magic feels insulting, at least in
Yeah,
my
like
opinion.
you can't define it.
it's just weird. It's a weird. I can almost From my experience, I thought it was a load of BS until one specific situation that happened. I was at a house party. It was like more of a dinner party.
Kickback kind of thing.
Yeah, it was a kickback kind of thing. So it was like we had the backyard and the inside was being used. So we were kind of just like rolling around, grabbing cokes, like just eating and munching around and just having conversations with different people.
Yeah.
There was this very specific person that stood out to me. It was a female. The whole time she was sat in the same position on a recliner, not reclined, just sitting there. Not even her back. Her back was literally like this. It wasn't even like she wasn't even comfortable. Like she was just sitting like this. And the whole time, I would kind of just like every few minutes I would look in her direction, and she would be just seated in the same position. And every time I would look, she would immediately just go, like in a very weird manner, dude. Okay, and
Waiting for the magic.
it's not even
Like
magic.
immediately
I'm
when
talking
you
about
when you looked in her direction.
in
she's
her
just like-
direction, she would just go like a bird.
Yeah, that's some creepy
It's like
shit.
a fucking pigeon. So I was just like, okay, that it didn't sit right. Okay?
Yeah.
I was having fun, and in that moment, I felt like I was alone in the room with her universe. It was
Oh,
the most. I cannot even explain it, dude. At this point, I'm getting like cold sweats, you can call it. I just feel very uncomfortable, uneasy.
I can tell you look uncomfortable right now. You're sitting all upright, like
Yeah.
rubbing your legs.
Well,
and
that's what I'm saying. But imagine, dude, you're just
I can
having
tell
a good
it really
time.
fucked with you,
You're
is my
eating
point.
chips and dip.
Yeah.
And you're just I'm just looking normal. Like I'm like, what's wrong with her?
You're like,
You know?
who invited this bitch?
No, my point is that
She
obviously
was the people's family. That's
Oh.
what had me concerned. Like,
Okay.
you know, and the whole time, the only time she didn't look, she kept looking in weird corners. Like, who the hell examines corners and who sits alone? First of all, especially when you're like supposed to be like the life of the party. You're hosting kind of thing.
she was hosting it.
She was hosting it along with her sister.
Oh, that's
Okay,
weird.
so that was the confusing part.
Is she? Did you know her before this?
Yeah.
Does she have a history of social anxiety or anything like that?
I'll get to that in a
Okay.
moment. Okay. So everything gets explained. Everything that I had questions for gets kind of explained later.
Yeah.
But basically, when she was looking in weird corners, that stuck to me. I was just like, why is she looking in like corners? Like, imagine I'm sitting here and you guys are talking to me and I'm just like this,
Well, I mean that's kind of normal. I mean,
right?
it's not.
I do that.
Yeah.
I know, but it went on so long that it turned weird. Now, I get home. All right. My mom's like, "Oh, did you guys have fun?" And all this stuff. I'm like, "Yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, the food was bomb, all this stuff." And then the next day, I couldn't forget about it, so I was just like, "All right, since it feels a little eerie, I'm gonna ask my mom." My mom was like, "Yeah, she actually has a running case for 8 years now, where they believe she is possessed. Someone has casted a spell on her."
I thought you meant she had like a warrant.
Oh no, dude.
I'm like, no wonder she's sussed out.
Okay,
Completely serious.
completely serious, dude. And my mom does not get serious until it's actually serious, right? So she was like, "I wouldn't make fun or anything," and I was like, "No, I'm not trying to make fun.
Yeah.
I'm just like concerned.
There's some
I'm
weird
like,
shit
what the
going
hell? So
on,
it's
man.
not just me." And she's like, "No, she does that with everyone. She's very weird. People believe that she has 2 beings in her, so she's possessed, obviously, and they believe that they know who the person that has casted a spell on them, and
What?
that person is in Morocco."
What?
course
And
he's in
upon
Morocco.
more research, Morocco is a hit spot for black dark magic.
Yeah, you're correct.
Right?
Interesting.
Dude, I literally lost my mind. I was like, I was in the same room. What if something happened to me? You know, like,
Did they take her to a psychiatrist?
no, they took her to religious leaders and stuff like that.
Of course.
Kinda,
I'm
Yeah, they don't
sorry.
deal with
A
you know what I
fucking
mean?
Come
course.
on.
Like,
yeah, but like, it's everyone's belief, bro. Everyone's different, obviously.
yeah, but you didn't get the scientific perspective.
Yeah, what if she has schizophrenia?
Yeah,
Because
that's a big question.
We know that
like-
schizophrenics, like, there's a whole range of people
Yeah.
who are schizophrenic. Some see demons, some hear voices, some,
Yeah.
see angels and shit.
Yeah.
But the whole point of it is that it was believed, and then like I felt like I was watching, like if you watched the movie Zodiac, where you're trying to trace steps, and, like find a pattern. I was like, holy crap, dude! Morocco, keyword, spells. They know the person's name, possession, and I'm like, dude, what? Like this is turning real serious, real quick.
But does schizophrenia account for, like, let's say if she was she
Yeah.
is schizophrenic, does it account for like all the coincidental or like purposeful glances at the exact moment? Like, what is that?
It's just weird, dude.
What does that mean? She was probably staring. Look at this fucker. She was probably staring at him anyways.
Yeah.
Looking at this prize French Adidas model.
Touche.
Come on, give your boy some credit here.
Touche.
Good board.
Touche.
Hype yourself up for a minute. So.
Yeah, you know, it's good, dude. You know, I'm just modeling out here for Adidas, trying to make it.
I've never come across anything like that.
No,
so.
I just think it's crazy that her
Yeah.
entire family never once thought to go to like
No,
a specialist.
Oh, science.
What blew my mind is that they just let her be like that.
Yeah, that's my point. That's what I'm trying to say.
And
They
I'm like-
never tried to do anything about it. They're
But,
just
well,
like, oh,
according to
she's
them,
cursed. She's
well,
cursed.
here's the thing. Everyone has a different perspective on what to do, right? In their mind, they already tried a bunch of stuff, right? They
Within
tried-
the religious context.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's what they believe in. What am I gonna do? Be like, oh no.
Say
it's-
like, hey, she might have
She
a
might-
legitimate mental
Yeah.
impairment, and you need to go get her help before it reaches
Yeah.
a point where she can
Now-
no longer be.
But I can't confirm that because I did not ask about that. If she got any medical advice. Or
okay,
help.
all right then.
Okay. So
All
we'll
right,
just leave it at
never
that
mind,
because like
never
I'm
mind
not sure. They may have.
Yeah.
So they came to that conclusion. I have no idea.
I retract everything I've just said. Then.
Yes, exactly. That's what we like here. We like retraction. All right.
No, I like progression.
I like attraction, dude.
Oh.
The law of
That was
attraction.
not- anyway.
Zayd's uncomfortable because he liked it.
Yeah.
I said the law of attraction.
Yeah, man.
That's the real magic.
It was just it was an eerie, weird thing for me. But
So what? Speaking of Morocco, what
sure.
we did some research on India.
Mhm.
What's
India,
that place called?
Mayong.
I think it's Mayong.
Yeah, Mayong. But it's like pronounced differently. It's
India's black magic capital. It's
Yeah.
Mayang. Or it's Mayang.
Mayang.
I wanna-
yeah.
I wanna-
But it's spelled with no. Okay.
I have a hesitation to
It's a
go
village
into
in
India,
India.
but I would definitely want to go here.
Oh wow.
Bro, I don't. Never mind.
Nice creepy picture to start us off with. Thank you.
Yeah, nowhere in India looks like that. No, I'm kidding.
All right,
There's
let's
probably
see.
a lot of places in India that look like that.
So apparently, it's also known as the land of black magic. So a lot of there's a huge culture for that over there in a little village. Mayang.
In
Damn, dude.
Sanskrit, Maya means illusion, while others believe that it's taken from the word miyong, meaning elephant in the Dimasa language. Some locals say that in the ancient era, the place used to be the habitat of the Morang? Yeah, Morang clan.
Well, you know what's
from
Bunch of
Manipur.
weird details.
What's scary about this is they literally apparently all the saints and people that are very experienced and advanced in witchcraft live in the jungles till this day.
Of course. You don't want to do that crazy shit in the city streets.
Can you imagine?
You can't fucking murder shit in the city streets like a chicken or a pig if it calls for
But
it.
isn't that creepy? And then, dude, Zayd was showing me a video earlier of this like witch. Remember?
That was in Saudi Arabia. I don't know what the
the
hell,
hell
to make
that
of
was.
That video.
That was very, very creepy. I gotta say.
It's just like
The thing is, it's very hard to tell what's real and what's not with these kinds of things, especially videos. You don't. I mean,
point is
Weird
point is a
stuff,
lot of
dude.
these places.
yeah.
Still,
This
like-
can also go into the paranormal direction, and that's just a whole different story. But like, damn man, if two universes collide, and we have access to it, we just don't know it. Me, you, and him. That's pretty gnarly. If you ask
I
me.
think people have been theorizing that for forever, whether there was math to back it up or not, even on a theoretical scale. I feel like people deep down have always believed in some other dimension, which
Mhm.
would be just essentially another universe or
Yeah.
a damn near carbon copy of it.
And I don't think that's wrong at all because I think we're also spiritual beings. There's
Yeah.
something much bigger than ourselves that we're connected to.
I also think it's kind of hilarious that we used to believe, or not, I say we like I'm part of the religion, but like Christians used to believe if you did like very small, almost borderline non-offensive things,
Mhm.
you would go to hell.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah, that just comes with
You'd go to hell.
being a
You're
religious
gonna burn.
case.
You have sin.
And also in a lot of cases, if you followed the word of the Lord and like tried to live your life as best as you could, it's like you still weren't worthy of saving in some instances. Like it's fucking like you had to be a member of the congregation, like actually leading and be a pastor or a fucking nun or
Yeah.
some chick. And then people were like, "This shit's harsh. We do not like it." And then Catholics are like, "All right, bet we'll come out with a new version in a couple months." And so they met together at
Yeah.
coffee shops. We're like, let's reorganize this shit. Then they came up with the Vatican Council II, and
Oh
now
my
we have the
God.
version of Catholicism that everybody's more comfortable with.
It's the Christian.
Yeah.
It's the Christian iOS patch
That's hilarious, dude.
Catholic iOS.
or Catholic iOS.
The
patch.
Catholic OS. The COS 2.0.
Yeah. Well, I guess someone has casted a spell upon us. We just don't know it.
I put a spell on you.
And unfortunately, it led to this episode ending. What do we do?
Do you know? I'm gonna go buy myself a book on spells from Amazon tonight.
Please do that.
I'm gonna start whipping
I
up
think
some
we're gonna watch a
good
We're
recipes.
gonna watch a little horror movie.
All I'm saying is I need to whip up a cure or some shit to get this hex over with. Finally close this episode out. Good Lord.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us on this
Yes.
episode of the 2 a.m. podcast.
Aha.
You can find us at a whole bunch of different places. Places like Spotify, places like Apple Music, places like Apple Podcasts, places like YouTube, for instance, where
Really?
you can also like, comment, and subscribe in case you didn't know.
fucking sure.
Yeah, leave the comments. We like reading them. It's a lot of fun. And
Yeah,
the
it
thumbs
really
up
is.
feel really good too. That
Exactly.
being said, thank you very much for joining us on this whimsical, magical thrill ride, magical broomstick ride
Dobby.
of a podcast. And everybody, can we get Adobe socks on 3? 1, 2, 3.
Adobe socks.